So we are out in Kirkuk Regional Air Force or Air Base, Crab is what they called it up in northern Iraq. And there was at the time, the CIA and Delta, we were both sharing kind of the similar compound out there. And I went out there, and it was super funny because our Delta Force liaison was like, "Hey man, can you run out and grab?" He was doing something. I think he might have been watching ISR feed or something. I was like, "Yeah, man, no problem. I'll run out there and grab those guys. That's super easy." And so we had a Hilux. Well, I had been digging around in this shipping container. I was cleaning out and doing inventory. Well, I came across, for the life of me, I couldn't figure this out. We had water skis and a life jacket and a bunch of shit in this thing. So I was like, oh, okay. There we go. So as soon as he was like, hey,
reiterate, the liaison of Delta was like, hey, we got these VIPs coming in. Evan's like,
I'm still stuck on a life jacket and skis in northern Iraq.
Yeah. Like I didn't know either. I was like, what the fuck is going on? So light bulb moment comes on. So I throw the water skis in back. I zip up this life jacket. Well, I'd gone to the sew shop on base maybe 2 or 3 weeks before, and I made these gay meters, and it was like a rainbow meter that was pegged out, and it just said gay meter, and I would put it on everybody's kit. So they'd be wearing it around like their unit patch, like a skull and like a Punisher patch, and then they look down, and there's this freaking rainbow gay meter, and I was like, so I put this thing on my life jacket, so I put my face, because we cruise around with these like they were like disguise kits with like sunglasses and mustaches because we want to look like Iraqis. I put this fake mustache.
You put
on.
the fake, the fake mustache.
we didn't want to look like the Asian people.
Come on. And I had blown out a pair of jeans like 3 weeks before, which is a totally separate thing. I had these like fucking jeans. They had a big rip in them, so I just cut them off and made Davy Dukes out of them. So I had a high cut jean shorts with a fucking life preserver, a fake mustache, mirrored sunglasses, water skis in the back of the Hilux with a gay meter attached to my life jacket. And I drive out to the airfield, and the dudes are coming out of the plane, and they're looking at me like, what for the love of God did they send? I was like, hey man, I'm sent out here to pick you guys up. And they were both looking at me as if I quite literally had a dick growing out of my head. But then as they got closer, they looked at the meter and they're like, what's that saying? Or are you gay? And I was like, no, it's taking a reading off both you guys. It's spiking out. Might be those salmon colored shirts. So I get them in the truck. I drive them back over. I'm like, you guys gonna hit the fucking lake a little later? We're gonna be out in the speedboat ripping around, you know. We're gonna have a good time. And they're like, is there a lake out here? And I was like, no. Do you Delta Force guys not do fucking map recon? Like, what the fuck?
You canceled them.
So then I get them back, and I take them to this like little shed that I'd thrown 2 cots into, and it was riddled with bullet holes, and it just was an open air facility. I was like, this is where you guys are living. This is a hooch, setting you guys up really nice. We're over here in the AC units, but that's kind of what we got right now. And they're like, holy shit, this sucks. I was like, nah, I'm just fucking with you. Get in the truck, let's go. But for some reason, they didn't want to do anything with me after that. They didn't want to do any joint ops. I don't know. But then they had to. So I went to the next briefing wearing the life jacket in uniform, and they actually got a pretty good laugh out of it. But they were like, what in the fuck is going on with this dude? He's like completely lost his mind, which isn't like outside of the definition of where I was. Like, I was like, whatever, who cares? Like,
you're going into war. Like, think about that. You're landing. You're like, okay, let's see. And then you pull up wearing a gay meter. Yeah. This guy doesn't take war serious at all.
I didn't. I was wearing a fucking white hang loose hat that with a pink hand on it during the invasion of Iraq. I had a 40 millimeter grenade launcher and like 6 grenades and a hang loose hat. And then the
Summer of 06.
Right on, man.
Yeah, they're like, we get to see our Delta boys again. Evan pulls up. Hey!
It's just people take it too serious. You got to like turn the volume down on that seriousness and have just a little bit of fun, tad bit of fun.
Just a tad bit of fun in war.
They're just so fucking serious.
Sprinkle some fun on that war.
Some seasoning.
This might be your last day here. You got to at least have a couple laughs, right?